Okay. So, all right. Something that I was just talking to Gemini, the AI, about. So, I was talking about how humans, humans spread everything by word of mouth. Okay. Gabriel Iglesias talked about this in one of his specials. He was talking about how back in the day, for a comedian to get famous or popular, it was always word of mouth. That was the best way to get your name out there, was word of mouth, right? It's just to have people tell other people about you. And but here's the thing, he was talking about. Let me take this out. He was talking about how we spread diseases by coughing and through airborne sickness. The only thing airborne when we are interacting with each other, the only thing airborne is our voice and our words. Okay, so when you hear somebody say something, if it resonates with you, like, okay, let's say you really like tacos, okay, and somebody says, oh hey, I'm having hamburgers tonight, you want to come over and eat? And you're like, nah, it doesn't really resonate with you. It's not that you don't like that person, right? You like them, but like they're having hamburgers and you just happen to not like hamburgers. Okay, actually, hot dogs, because hamburgers and tacos are pretty much the same fucking thing. So they're having chicken. They're having chicken, and you like red meat. You don't like chicken, whatever. Okay, so they're having chicken, and they offer for you to come over, and you're like, no, thank you. I'm just not. I don't feel like it tonight. You make an excuse. You don't tell them, hey, I don't like chicken, because you don't want them to feel bad, right? But anyways, so you're like, oh, I just don't feel like it. So, but see, then that makes them start thinking that they've done something, and instead of you just being honest with them and telling them that you don't like chicken and that it's not that you don't want to hang out with them, but you just want to be there and not eat, and then think that you don't like their cooking. And you know what I'm saying? It's just like this whole fucking thing that each of you has, like, each of you is like worried about the other one and this and that, when really, if you just be like, no, I don't like chicken, so I'll pass tonight. Bro, that would have ended the whole fucking thing. Be like, no, I don't like chicken. I don't, I'm not going to come over and just sit there and eat and do nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'll come over another night. Okay. Just fucking be honest, dude. But no, you don't want to hurt their feelings, or, the other person thinks, oh, I must have done something wrong. Because, no, you are literally, when you say this kind of stuff to each other, right? When you don't be honest with each other, right? Because listen, what you humans don't understand is you are all lie detectors, okay? You are all lie detectors. When you are watching somebody talk, you're watching their body language, you're watching their cadence, their word choice, their structure, their rhythm. You're watching everything, dude, okay? You're paying attention to it. You don't realize it, but your subconscious is definitely doing it. Some people who are hypervigilant and stuff, they can do this consciously, right? They can be very self-aware of what they're doing and what they're tracking on the person that they're watching as they speak or whatever. But what everybody can resonate with is deception, okay? There's a difference when somebody's telling the truth and when somebody's lying, and Chase Hughes can tell you this, or any body language expert. Spidey on YouTube, he's a good one. He's a mentalist and stuff. He's really cool. He's really good at body language. He's better at the mentalist stuff than he's good at body language, but he's more at like the gimmicky. Just my honest opinion, dude. He's no Chase Hughes, right? And he's damn sure not as good at reading body language as me. But I could not do what he does with the mentalism stuff, right? The way he's really good at like just pinpointing specific human types, right? Like he's not so good at like the body language, like as a whole, right? He's just good at he's good at just telling deception, right? He's just good at, or like when somebody, or a confirmation, right? He knows how to tell if somebody yes or no. He's really good at that, okay? Because that's all he needs to be good at when doing the mentalism stuff, right? Because when he says something, if somebody, I don't know how they fucking, see, I don't even know that part, right? I don't know, I just know it internally, naturally, like passively. I can't tell you, oh, when they do this, like, so he has that also under his belt. He can tell you consciously what, I know what they're doing consciously, but I can't tell you right now I would have to see somebody doing it. And I know that sounds like, oh, whatever. I'm not trying to prove anything to you, though. I'm not trying to prove to you that I can read people's body language. I don't care about that. I'm just saying that, I'm just saying, I'm sitting here being a fucking retarded human trying to over-explain myself to you what I mean when I say this shit about him, because you guys will all misconstrue it as like me insulting him or talking down about him. And I'm not talking down about them, but Chase Hughes or any body language expert or Spidey or anybody, none of them are anywhere near my level. So, I mean, if we're going to talk down about anybody, I'll talk down about all y'all at once, and myself. Because I'm sure there's somebody out there better than me. Or maybe will be eventually. Okay, no, that's not true. But anyways, so, you humans, when you bring your problems to other people, okay, you are literally injecting them with a virus, okay? Because your feelings, your issues, your problems are yours, right? And what I mean by that is, when you go to somebody with your problems, and you want to cry on their shoulder, or just vent, whatever, right? Venting, actually, hold on, let me reverse that. Venting is fine. Venting is fine. But when you offload your problems onto somebody else, right? When you, like, put them onto somebody else like they're their problems, and you might not even know you do this. Who knows? A lot of people do this and they don't even realize it. Because they think it's venting, but the other person receives it as offloading, and you are just trying to vent, but they just took it all, So it's a miscommunication on both sides. If you want to vent to somebody, just be like, yo, look, can I vent? Like, a lot of people do that now. They're like, hey, can I just vent? Yeah, go ahead and vent. Hey, listen, by the way, when somebody wants to vent, that does not mean you fucking talk, okay? That means you just sit there and nod and agree with them, okay? They don't need you to tell them the truth in that moment, okay? They just need you to shut up and nod along. And then after they're done with their rant, then you can tell them how fucking stupid they are for reacting that way, okay? Because we all know that we're all fucking stupid when we're mad, okay? It's just, well, okay, not always, but you know what I'm saying? Not mad, but when we lose control of our emotions, right? Not mad, because you're not just because you're mad doesn't mean you're out of control. A lot of people get mad. Look at the Hulk, He used his rage as a weapon, and he controlled it. But anyways, when one human goes to another human, and they offload their problems on the other human, okay? Think about it this way. That other person's words, even if you live with this person and been around this person, it doesn't matter. Because you are not this other person, ever. And neither one of you are the same, right? You're not the same person. You guys are, each person is different. But when somebody offloads their problem onto another person, that other person can do one of two things. One, well, actually three, technically. One, they can reject it entirely. Two, they can take it on as their own. Or three, they can be just totally indifferent and not let it affect them at all, or one way or the other, right? So neutral, positive, negative, basically, okay? Three states, and three. And so, to totally reject it, be like, I don't want to fucking hear it, I don't care about your problems, don't fucking talk to me, right? Okay? But then the other person who's like, oh, I'm so sorry, okay, that person, the empath, right, the empathetic person, sympathetic person, that person, what they're trying to do now is take your problems, your internal problems, right? Because they are your internal problems. And then you are externalizing them, right? Which fucks it all up. Because now you're taking something that was supposed to... It's like taking the fucking water out of a snow globe and dumping it on the dirt and then trying to put it all back in the snow globe. It's not going to work. So, you've broken the snow globe. Once you release that energy of it being internal out to the world, you've broken the snow globe, okay? And you can put new fluid back in, but it's not going to be your fluid. It's going to be, anyways. So that's what you're doing. You're handing somebody a fucking broken snow globe, right? And you're like, here, fix it, but fix it with you. Like, you have to put your fluid back in here and fix the glass and make it whole again. But motherfucker, this is your snow globe. You broke it. Why do I gotta fix it? Like, what the fuck, man? And so, but it's not like a malicious thing, right? I mean, well, some people do. Some people do weaponize it, but most people just do it because they want somebody, a shoulder to lean on. And that's okay. There are people in this world that are equipped to carry other people's burdens, that's just what they're made for. And but people that aren't, or people that think they are and they're not, or people that just go around pretending like shit don't bother them, dude, it's okay if shit bothers you, dude. Trust me, there's a lot of shit that bothers me, But at the same time, that shit that bothers me ultimately doesn't fucking bother me. Like, okay. Let me, I have a very limited vocabulary. What I mean is, that shit bothers me, but in the long run, ultimately it doesn't affect me, is what I meant to say. It bothers me, but it doesn't affect me, right? It bothers me, but it doesn't stop me from doing anything, right? It bothers me, but like, so what? There's a lot of shit that bothers me, dude. Like, everything fucking bothers me. So if I just let everything that bothers me bother me, then, brother, well, if I did it again. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much the same fucking thing, dude. But if I let everything that bothers me affect me, then I would not ever be able to do anything. Because I'd be so, well, and trust me, I spent 32 years living my life that way, where I was always just worried about every fucking thing else except for myself. And you just can't live that way, man. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is, you humans infect each other with mind viruses all the time. And the power of suggestion. Do you guys not remember the power of suggestion, right? Like, you plant the seed of doubt. Do you guys not remember, like, those like tropes and shit? Like the seed of doubt, a little mustard seed of doubt, like in the Bible and shit, it talks about, a little mustard seed of doubt is all it takes for it to like fester into a fucking whatever giant tree of of doubt and whatever, and it'll cast shade over your whole life, whatever old fucking dumb shit they said. I'm all for God, right? I believe in God. I don't believe. I know there's a God. I don't have to believe. Faith is for people who don't know. Oh, sorry, wrong. Faith is for people who don't believe, and belief is for people who don't know. I know God exists, so therefore I don't need to have faith in Him. I don't need to believe in Him because I know that God exists, right? Listen, it might not be male. Listen, God is an entity. It's not a male or female, right? People say God is a woman, God is a man. No, motherfucker. If we're all made in His image, or if we're all made in its image, then it would have to be a hermaphrodite, or no, like gender neutral type of shit, something not like I said, like the three states: positive, negative, neutral. The positive terminal is the male. The negative terminal is the female because she's got the hole. So, and the positive goes into the fucking negative. The positive has the post. The negative has the indent. And so, and then there's neutral, right? God is the neutral state, and then male and female is the positive and the negative. And listen. Negative does not mean bad. Okay, positive and negative are just two sides, the red and black wire. Okay. Let's call it the red and black wire, so that way we don't say talk about a black, talk about a bad thing. Oh, it's a negative thing. It's a bad thing, because it's not like that. It's just the positive. It's a plus and minus on a fucking battery cable, or a battery post, or a battery, battery. Yeah, you know what I mean? So, hey, listen, don't be mad at me that God made you women the negative ones, and that's the positive. But hey, listen, God made us this way, right? Don't blame me. Don't blame the messenger, dude. I'm just a messenger, dude. I'm just Mercury. I'm just a messenger. Don't kill the messenger. I'm just letting y'all know the truth. Women are the negative end, and the men are the positive end, and that's just the way we're made, right? But if you really think about it, right? Women are mostly, emotional and whiny and crybaby little bitches, and now men are becoming whiny, crybaby, emotional little bitches because women are like, oh, you men need to be more like us. You need to show more emotions. You need to do this. You need to do that. You need to do this. You need to do that. So now all these little bitch ass men, little beta bitches, are doing exactly what these women are telling them to do. And hey, ladies, more power to you. I don't. Listen, hey, if you can pussy whip a man, then do it, dude. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? If a man's a pussy enough to be whipped, then pussy whip that pussy. Pussy whip that pussy, dude. You can do whatever you want with your pussy. I don't care. But whether it be a cat, your man, whatever. No, I don't care. Notice I left the other one out. I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about a cat, dude, and a person acting like a little baby, like a bitch, being a pussy. I ain't talking about anything else, dude. But you do whatever you want with the pussy. You know what I'm saying? You do whatever you want with a cat or your man. Hey, and for some of y'all, they might be both. Your man might also be your cat. Who knows? You got that furry shit going on. And I might call it furry shit, but the thing is, I call my weed shit. I'm smoking my weed shit, I'm smoking my vape shit. Everything's just shit, dude. If you think about it, we are all just space shit, dude. We're all just, shit from space, do well star stuff, you know. But anyways, so you humans literally spread viruses to each other by just saying that you're sick. If nobody knew that coughing was related to being sick, then nobody would ever think that somebody that coughed was sick. Like, nobody would ever think that. And because I can tell you right now, I'm not sick. I'm coughing, I smoke. So, like, duh, I'm gonna cough. Anybody that has that does drugs is gonna cough. Anybody that smokes any type of vape or cigarette product or weed or anything is gonna cough. Anybody with fucking asthma is gonna cough. Anybody with COPD is gonna cough. Anybody that just doesn't like your fucking cologne is gonna cough. You know what I mean? Like, there's this guy who has a fucking coughing meter, and someone's like, oh, you can make that an app. No, dude. You can hear people coughing. You don't need a fucking app to track people coughing around you. What the fuck? Are you really that much of a fucking bitch that you need to know who's coughing around you so to like avoid them because you're scared of getting sick? Bro, do you realize the only way you don't get sick is by exposure? You gotta, like King Mithridates or whatever. He poisoned himself over so long so that he wouldn't die because he was afraid of getting poisoned, that then he got jailed or whatever. He tried to poison himself to kill himself and he couldn't. He fucking hang himself or something. And then, like snake hunters dope themselves up with snake poison, or snake venom. Like it fucking matters, they're all made up words anyways. They dope themselves up with the juice that comes out of the teeth of a fucking snake or a serpent, and because a serpent is the only one that has venom. Snakes don't. Snakes just bite. They just hurt, like, and their saliva hurts. But a snake is not a serpent, and a serpent is not a snake. So, anyways, a king cobra is a fucking serpent. Serpents can dislocate their jaws and swallow a fucking rabbit hole. A snake just eats like bugs and shit, and a snake cannot dislocate their jaw. So, anyways, fuck. What was I saying? Oh, shit. I don't know. I have no idea. I literally just forgot everything I was saying. Oh, so you spread your disease like a mind virus, right? You tell people that you're sick, so then they think they're sick. And, but like, dude, there's nothing in nature that will make you guys sick, like, unless you abuse it. And there's nothing in nature that will hurt you unless you abuse it, or unless you have, ill will toward it. If you go into nature with no intent to harm it or any ill will at all, then nature will not mess with you at all. So, but listen, fear, when you show fear, when you like, show fear, like actual fear, not jump scare, not like startle. A startle is not fear. You might get scared, but being scared is not fear, right? Fear is prey, like being a prey. Like fear is like you fucking, fight, flight, or freeze. When you have that going through your mind, fight, flight, or freeze, then you're in fear, But when you're like, what the fuck was that? Holy shit! Oh my god! What the fuck, dude? And you like go investigate. That's not fear. That might be stupidity, but that's not fear. That's clearly not fear, dude. But when you're like, what the fuck? Holy shit, dude! Oh my god! Oh shit! That's not fear. That's like excitement. You might be a little scared, right? But being scared is not the same thing as being in fear. Being in fear is irrational. You're scared of nothing. Being in fear means you don't know what you're scared of, right? Being scared means that there's a massive fucking creature in front of you and you have all rights to be scared, okay? But fear is a totally just hallucinated emotion and feeling that animals cannot parse. They don't understand what fear is because they don't feel fear. Animals don't have the ability to feel fear. They can be scared, but they don't have the ability because they're only scared of shit they know will eat them, right? They're only scared of shit they know has killed them, like their kind in the past or whatever, And so they're only scared, like by nature, of their natural predators. They don't live in fear of them. They're just scared that they're going to get eaten by them. But they don't live in fear of them because they know what they are. So, fear is just what you manifest when you have no idea what you're scared of, So, yeah, man.